Welcome back to the Psych Ward, my fellow freaks. In today's video, we're just going to be kind of doing something silly and frivolous. I'm going to be talking about different gay stereotypes and whether or not I feel like they fit me. I do not like to be stereotyped. I do not like people to think that they can stereotype me. Like, I've always been self-conscious about the idea of people seeing me, seeing that I'm very gay, and then kind of jumping to a lot of conclusions about who I must be based on that little bit of information. That's always bothered me. So I had this idea that I wanted to just talk about what gay stereotypes I do feel like can be applied to me, or, things that I do kind of fit. I mean, obviously I'm very gay. So some of the stereotypes are probably going to fit, right? I also kind of wanted to do something fun and silly because the 31st is my birthday. I know I'm putting this up on Wednesday, so it's a day before my birthday, but I thought we would do like a little celebration video turning 31 on the 31st. My 31st is on the 31st. I am wearing the Divine Rose eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. This is the outside cover, and then this here is the palette. My husband gave this to me as an early birthday present, so I'm finally wearing it. Isn't it beautiful? It's a beautiful neutral palette with like these little pops of just gorgeousness. This one looks so gold. There it is. There's the pink. It's a pink gold duochrome. I want to see if I can get it in the mirror. Not really, but gorgeous palette. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I just want to jump into it, but that's what I have on today. I'm extremely low tech, so I will be reading these things off a piece of paper that I printed out. So, stereotypes. I wrote these things down, and I feel like I just want to kind of go in whatever order I feel like. I'm looking for a pen, if you're wondering why I'm looking around like a weirdo. I want to like check them off as I go though, because I was just kind of writing them down as I thought of them, but I kind of want to talk about them in whatever order I think is appropriate. Let's start with the most obvious one. Everyone assumes that gay guys are going to be super femme, and I wrote limp-wristed. And of course, there's some basis to that stereotype. It's not like all gay guys are gonna fit that stereotype, but I think I definitely do. And I talked about this in the video where I talked about why Pride Month bums me out, but I can't hide the fact that I'm gay. I can't change how effeminate I am. It's just part of who I am, and it's always been part of who I am. And yeah, it's just kind of me. I haven't been able to curb that at all, even though I have tried, because, like I said, I don't want people assuming things about me, so I don't want to be, like, obviously gay from, like, 1,000 miles away. People see me, like, and it's like, oh, there's one. So I do definitely think that that is a stereotype that kind of fits me, but it also doesn't. I think that you would be surprised by how many more masculine things I'm interested in, like the movies that I'm into, my sense of decor. I know that talking about decor is not very masculine, but I think I said this in a recent video. I always wanted my home to look very much like an old man lived there, or something like that. I don't know. That aesthetic makes me feel very comfy and cozy. So I'm not like into sports or anything, but I like video games. There's a lot of things that people would typically think of as being more boyish that I really love, like big Star Wars nerd, big Lord of the Rings nerd, big Batman nerd. I think I've made it very clear, if you've been watching the channel, that I'm a really big fan of Twisted Metal. I just watched that whole series, by the way, and I loved it. I mean, it was not what I would have done if I were given the reins to make a Twisted Metal show, but it was still very enjoyable. I liked it. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this one for too long. But yeah, I feel like who I am as a person is very much this very kind of in between sort of place. Oh, even like I was talking about different things that I'm interested in that aren't considered particularly feminine. My taste in music, I love a lot of things that you wouldn't think of as being girly. Like I've loved Rob Zombie since I was, I don't know, like 6. I don't know how old I was when I first heard Dragula, but I've loved Rob Zombie since then. You know, I love heavy music and some hip hop and stuff, but I also love Alanis Morissette and Avril Lavigne and stuff like that. So I think that I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to the masculine and feminine thing. Obviously, when I get on here and look like this, you might just assume that I'm a... And yes, from a distance, I probably look like that. And obviously from a distance, when I'm doing all of this, not that I do this on purpose, but you can tell. Anyway, I've gone on for way too long about this one in particular. Another one that I find really annoying is everyone assumes that gay people in general love musical theater. And let me tell you, I hate it. I hate that stuff. I can't stand when people sing things that they could easily just say. Don't sing a whole sentence to me. Don't do it. There's certain like Disney movies and stuff that are like that I do enjoy. Like, well, I guess, so one of my favorite Disney movies is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. How could you not? It's so dramatic and so gothic. And it's just so like adult. Like, have you ever watched that movie as an adult? It's rather adult. But that one, there's no like, as far as I can remember, there's no songs that are like something that ought to have been spoken dialogue. All of the songs are, contained as musical pieces. It's not like trying to have a whole conversation in song, like that kind of stuff I hate. So I do like musicals on some level, but most musicals are just not my thing. I like Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is really good. But again, there's not really like spoken or a conversation that ought to have been spoken turned into music. Like, people aren't like, can you get the eggs out of the fridge? I hate that. Okay, don't want to talk about that one for too long either. I don't want to like stick on any of these for too long. I want to like move through it, Oh, people assume that gay men are like fashionistas, that we're all well-groomed and up on the latest fashions and all that stuff. And I definitely, when I was younger, had a little bit of a sense of fashion. It was a little more counterculture and kind of weird. I used to dress in like button-up shirts and like dress pants and vests and like suspenders and stuff. But then I would also have on like platform boots and like arm warmers and like be kind of goth. That was like the extent of my interest in like fashion. Now at this point in my life, I don't care at all. I will dress like a hobo off the street 90% of the time. I hate trying to find clothes that look good on me. Maybe it's because I feel so self-conscious about my appearance now at this point in my life. I've gained a lot of weight since I started my desk job, and I just don't necessarily feel like I look good ever. So I don't really worry too much about fashion anymore, but I definitely used to have my own sense of style. But my whole life, I kind of always either dressed like, I don't know, sort of like goth and weird, or I would dress, I usually describe it as like dressing like a teenage boy, even when I wasn't a teenager anymore. Like, I would go around in like some basketball shorts and a rock t-shirt and maybe a backwards hat. I don't know, like, I always said it looked like I was dressed like a teenage straight boy. That's just like my two modes, I guess. I mean, obviously now that I'm older, it's a little different. I dress like, I don't know what I dress like. The way that I dress is so freaking weird. Whatever, but long story short, I'm not up on any trends, and I don't know if you could really call me well groomed. I hate shaving. I hate doing my hair. I just hate it. Oh, this one, I was getting ideas from like stuff online as well as like things that I already had in my head for this video. But this one came up, coloring my hair, or, you know, gay people coloring their hair. I feel like this might sound a little weird to say, but I feel like that's more of a stereotype with lesbian women. Like, isn't it? But I definitely colored my hair when I was younger. I think younger gay men are known to color their hair. I guess, I don't know, I feel like it used to be more of a thing that gay men would like bleach their hair. But a lot of gay guys also, when they're young, will dye their hair different fun colors, and I had bright red hair. If I can find a picture of it, I will put it somewhere. I don't know which side I'm going to put it on, but I'll put the picture on screen. I used to have bright red hair, and it was super fun, and I actually miss that. But I haven't done that in a long time. I don't feel like I'll look good with colored hair at this stage of my life. Again, I don't feel like I'm gonna look good no matter what I freaking do, so maybe that's part of it. This is another one that I wrote down. I wrote, interested in being a hairdresser or a makeup artist. People always told me, I guess because I was like very different and like I dressed different and behaved differently, people always told me like, oh, you should become a hairdresser or like a makeup artist. And this was before I ever started experimenting with makeup. So now at this point in my life, I'm like, yeah, maybe I would do the makeup thing like for money, because right now I really just do it for fun, because I like to do things like this. But I have thought about it. People, now that they see me doing it, a lot of people say, oh, you could definitely do that like professionally. I don't know if that's true. I've never done makeup on another person, but it's possible. Hairdressing though, I was never interested in. I cut my own hair. You know, however successful that is or is not, I do cut my own hair. But honestly, hair grosses me out. Scalps gross me out. Not so much my own, but other people's for sure. And I've never had a desire to do hair. I never looked at that profession and thought like, oh, that's totally something that I would want to do. I don't know. I'm not excited by like people's hairdos, especially the kind of stuff that people would want to do like on a regular basis. I don't want your regular ass hairdo. I like more punk rock stuff. Which is part of why I like to do my own hair, because it always ends up being a little bit punk rock. Whether I really want it to or not, I'm still very much looking in a mirror and like buzzing a lot of my hair off, and it's very kind of wild and all over the place, and I never really know for sure how it's going to turn out, so it's always a little bit punk rock. So I like doing it for myself, but I've never had any desire to do hair on anyone else. I'm looking over my list, seeing which ones we have left. So I'm just gonna pick a random one. So being a good dancer. I've heard people say that gay men are good dancers. And I don't know if I'm actually a good dancer. I feel like I'm very uncoordinated and unbalanced and often feel like I might fall over when I'm dancing, but I guess I look like I'm in control when I dance, because people have always kind of said that I was a good dancer, or maybe just a crazy dancer. I like do a lot of things with my body. that people are entertained by. You know, if I dance at parties and things, weddings, family events, people always, I don't know, like the way that I dance. I don't know, though, if you could ever actually consider me a really good dancer. I just, when I do it, I really enjoy doing it, and it can get a little crazy. I did have a girl in college tell me that I was a good dancer. She was like, wait, are you gay? And I was like, yeah. She was like, see? It's because he's gay. She's like, guys can't dance unless they're gay. So that's a stereotype that I've seen firsthand come up. Oh, good gaydar. No. I'll just tell you right now, no. Maybe better now at this point in my life. I feel like I can recognize like gay face a little bit more. I think that gay face is real, but I still don't necessarily feel like I have a great gaydar. I don't know. I know, like, sometimes I'll like, it's weird that this is what I'm thinking of, but I'll like watch a new ASM artist, people that do ASMR on YouTube, and I'll be like, I wonder if this guy's gay. He's really cute. Sometimes I kind of like get the inkling and I end up being right. But sometimes I'm kind of like, no, this guy's definitely straight. Like, I definitely think this guy's straight. And then he's like, he'll be like, in one of his videos, he'll be like, oh, my boyfriend or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I guess I was wrong. That's the thing. You can never really tell. You really can't. So, this is another one that I think is, this one I think is more just straight guys and probably paranoia. But I feel like straight guys at least assume that gay guys are just in love with every straight guy. Like, we just want every straight guy. And that's true. So anyway, no, it's not true. I will say, I love men just in general, especially, you know, young men. I'm not the kind of person that goes for older guys normally. That, I guess that's another gay stereotype, right? Like, gay guys want that big age gap. That's also a stereotype. I don't want to get into that. I don't like that. I don't understand that. I guess I've always liked younger guys, but I don't know. It's more complicated than just like, oh, I want to be the daddy. That's like gross and kind of creepy. I do always say that I'm very paternal with younger guys and that I want to like be the dad, but I don't mean it like daddy. That's different. That's a different thing. And I don't like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff actually creeps me out, and I'm not into it. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the straight guys thinking that gay guys are in love with all straight men or like want to hook up with all straight men. I'm very anti the idea of fetishizing straight men. I think I mentioned that as well in the video where I talked about Pride Month. But I do, you know, I like all kinds of men. And I can appreciate, I want to say most men, maybe it's not most, but I would say most young men, you know, around my age or younger. So I can understand how someone might think that I just love straight guys, but I just love guys in general, and there's more straight guys popping up in my life than there are gay guys, so chill with that. And straight guys, stop being so paranoid about it. So what if a guy likes you? It's a good thing. Obsessed with fitness. I feel like a lot of people tend to think that gay men are very fit and thin. I gotta tell you, you guys, in my experience personally, at least in the area that I live in, maybe if you live in a more densely populated like city and gay men are feeling more like in competition with one another, where I live, the gay guys are not particularly fit. And I hope that doesn't sound mean, But it's literally true. Like, there's a lot of bigger gay guys in this area. And the guys who are fit, like, I remember being on Grindr and stuff and, like, trying to talk to guys that were sexy and fit. And it was always, like, they either wouldn't answer at all or they just weren't interested because they all know, like, I'm the hottest thing around here, right? Like, there's not too many fit guys around here, so I'm a hot commodity, and I'm like too sexy for these guys around here. So it was always like, I don't know. That always annoyed me because it was like, we get it, You look good. I've never been like that though. I've never been really into fitness and stuff, and I've always wished that I could have like a super hot body, but it never was an achievable goal for me. Like, I can't spend all that time working out. Are you crazy? I can't be a gym rat. I'm not into it. That's not the life for me. Into chick flicks. I put this one down because I do feel like that's kind of a stereotype, right? Like, guys, gay guys, we always assume that they like Legally Blonde and The Notebook and what's it called? Mean Girls, and I don't know, things like that. Movies that are clearly made for women, like, that's the target audience. And yeah, I enjoy things like that, or I can enjoy things like that. But those are not the kind of things that I go back to like rewatch. I've seen all three of those movies that I just mentioned once. Have I seen Mean Girls more than once? Probably. I probably saw it on TV a couple of times, but like Legally Blonde, The Notebook, stuff like that. I think I've only seen them once. And they're fine. They're a fun experience, right? Well, The Notebook's not a fun experience. I mean, it is, and then it stops being a fun experience in the end. And then it makes you kind of die a little inside, and it's awful. I like Titanic. Most of the time, though, I find that gay men are like me in that they really enjoy horror movies. And I feel like there's not really a stereotype of that, but in my experience, it seems like gay men prefer horror movies over chick flicks. You know? That was always something that when I was talking to different gay guys that I found that I had in common with most gay guys that I spoke to. I wonder if that's like, have you ever heard of like how horror movies, people who really like horror movies, it's like if you've been through a lot of trauma, you like to watch horror movies because it like gives you a sense of control over your like fear and whatever. I don't know. I wonder if that's like part of the, not to be dark, but like the trauma of growing up gay in a world that, I don't know, hates us. Again, not to be dark, but I have noticed that a lot of gay men really like horror movies, and that's not really a stereotype. And I wonder why. I wonder why more people don't acknowledge the fact that the gays love the horror movies. I just watched all of the Saw movies, by the way, from 1 to 9. That's a lot of really gross movies all in a row. I watched them within the course of like a month, we'll say. They're really good. I didn't expect them to be good. Some of them are really gross. I don't like some of the things in some of those movies, but I did enjoy them. I actually thought that they were pretty good. And I never wanted to watch them because I don't like torture, but they were good. I did enjoy them. Let's see, what else is on this list? Oh, been to Fire Island. No. I've never been to Fire Island. I feel like that's like the assumption. Like, maybe people don't necessarily assume that you've been to Fire Island, but either Fire Island or like P-Town, like everybody assumes that you've either been there or you want to go there or whatever. Like, that's part of the gay experience, and I don't know. I'm just not on that boat. I don't know. I've never really wanted to do any of that. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to get like serious. But yeah, I don't know. I never wanted to go to any of those like gay destinations. Oh, this is a good one. Rich. Are gay guys rich? Maybe this isn't a stereotype that everyone's heard, but I've heard people say this, that gay men usually have more money. I think that what it is gay men don't like have children, and so we just can do more with our finances. I want to have kids. I want to adopt. I wonder if I should do a video one day talking about why it's so important to me that I want to adopt. But you know, having children as a gay person is a choice that you have to make. You can't accidentally adopt a kid. Straight people, though, they first of all feel obligated to have kids once they're married, which is a whole other subject. And they also can accidentally have kids. So obviously your finances are going to go to caring for your kids, right? So I do think that it kind of makes sense to think that gay people, you know, if you have two incomes, no kids, you can kind of do more with your money. But I'm not getting paid a lot of money. Doing what I do, I don't get paid a lot of money, so I'm not rich. Even if I was really good at managing money, which I'm really not, I still wouldn't be rich. Like I don't make enough money, and I do think that a lot of gay men kind of get involved in more artistic and creative fields, things where they can charge more money. I have not, for reasons. Gosh, I'm like teetering on the brink of talking about like serious things, and I keep having to reel it in. I have not done anything artistic with myself, and I don't do anything where I get to charge people lots of money for my services or my whatever. So, you know, I just work a crummy desk job. Capitalism, you know? So I'm not rich. But I think that that's a funny one to think about, because it's not completely unfounded. Like, you can rationalize that stereotype, but it's not true. It's not true of everyone anyway. Following RuPaul's Drag Race, everybody assumes, because I'm gay, that I've seen RuPaul's Drag Race. This includes straight women that I've spoken to. I've had a couple of straight women try to talk to me about RuPaul's Drag Race. Gay men have brought up RuPaul's Drag Race to me and tried to talk to me about it. And everyone's always like, oh, you don't watch it? They're always like shocked. And they're always like, oh, you gotta watch it, you'll love it. I'm like, I don't know if I would, just because it's reality TV. Like, I'm not a reality TV guy. I don't get into that kind of stuff. I like drag queens. I love Trixie Mattel. I love Katya. I love like, that stuff is great. I love Bob the drag queen. I think he's amazing. But I don't really follow that stuff. Like, I've been to drag shows. Again, I watch Trixie and Katya on YouTube, but I'm not like in that whole world. I have no idea what boots means. No idea. I know tea. I know what tea is. I don't know boots. I don't know what that means. I hear Trixie and Katya say it, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm not up on the lingo. But yeah, that's another one that I don't know. It was never a thing for me. I never watched the show, and people always just kind of assume that I either have seen it or that I will enjoy it. No. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean that I'm going to be into RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know. Let's see. Which of these have I not talked about yet? See, this is why I wanted to check them off. Oh, people assume that gay men are mean gossips or that they love tea. I actually really hate this stereotype because I actually feel like this is something that is perpetuated, and it's kind of like that whole gay best friend like stereotype irritates the hell out of me. And the idea that gay men are like bitchy and love to talk shit, yeah, I think that there are a lot of gay men who are like that. It's just like women who are like that. There's a lot of like kind of competition with one another, and it's like you see another gay guy and you're like, ooh, I have to be the top gay here. I don't like that. I don't think that that's good. When it comes to the idea that gay men just in general like to be gossips and bitchy, I think that that is a weird mix of things that I think is very toxic. I think it's that feeling of being bullied, being preyed upon, and kind of hardening and getting, I don't know, kind of turning resentful and mean. And then that being encouraged by straight women who want a gay best friend type that they can gossip with and be mean with that person. And I know that when I was young, I felt pressure to kind of be like a toxic, mean, gossipy gay. And it made me kind of hate who I was, honestly. Again, not trying to get super dark, but I never wanted to be that person. I was that person at times, but I never wanted to be that person. So that's something that I actively try to avoid being. And I think that more gay men should be aware of the trap of that and also actively avoid it if possible. If you're not just naturally mean and nasty. I think that gay men can be very sweet if they want to be. I've definitely seen gay men be very sweet, and I think we need more of that in our culture, less of the bitchy stuff. Okay, so I think the last one that I wrote down that I have not addressed is something that I sort of touched on a little bit before. People assume that gay guys are crazy for Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, Madonna, Lana Del Rey, maybe Taylor Swift, maybe Lizzo, Beyonce, you know, these like pop divas. I'm not. I never was. I did like Lady Gaga in the beginning. I feel like I may have touched on this in the past as well, but I liked Lady Gaga in the beginning, and then I felt like she was starting to be kind of exploitative of the gay community, and so I stopped liking her for a while. I do like her better now. I don't really listen to her music or anything, but just as a person, I'm fine with her. The only like major like pop diva artist that I really love that I haven't kind of gotten sick of or anything is Rihanna. I'm a total Rihanna stan. I love her so freaking much. Like, I enjoy Beyonce's music. I used to enjoy Lady Gaga's music. I still will go back to some of her old stuff and enjoy it. For like a hot second, I liked Katy Perry. Now I honestly can't stand her. I do enjoy some of Lana Del Rey's stuff. I like Taylor Swift's older stuff. I never really was into Madonna. I like tried to be into Madonna for like a minute, and then I was like, no, it's whatever. I was never into Britney Spears. I never liked Britney Spears, like ever. I don't know. I was never into like Christina Aguilera. Did I say her name right? Christina Aguilera. That's her name, right? I've been filming for too long. I'm starting to fall apart. But yeah, I don't know. I just never was into those like pop divas. that was never my thing. So, like I said, I generally prefer artists like Rob Zombie, Korn, Evanescence. I do like Avril Lavigne, but she was always kind of like the anti-pop kind of character. Rihanna is my pop diva. I'll always love her. She's just the best. Okay, and that is all of the things that I have listed on this list of stereotypes. I hope that this didn't go for too long. I feel so like, I don't know, like I've been filming too long. So I am ending it here. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you're new here, I post every Sunday and every Wednesday, so check me out. I would definitely appreciate some more subscribers. Oh, great birthday present for me would be if you would share this channel with people. You know, if you love this channel, please share it with other people who love makeup in your life, because the YouTube algorithm has put this channel to death. So rather than starting another one, I'm trying to stick with this one and trying to revitalize it, but it's really hard. I have no time to be dedicating to doing this, but I am uploading twice a week every week and have been for quite a while. That's more content than a lot of other YouTubers put out, and I just can't seem to grow. I don't know, maybe my content actually sucks and that's why I can't grow, but I don't know, I just feel like I can't get the word out there, you know? So if you would be so kind as to share my content with like-minded folks. If you're new and this is the first video you've ever seen, usually my content is more about makeup and stuff. So if you're into this kind of stuff, I have a lot more of that content. If you're not into that, I do try to do some different things every once in a while. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop begging. I hope that you guys all have a great week, and I will be seeing you guys again on Sunday. Peace!